Hello and welcome to the Globetrotter. Today we have with us the famous duo that revolutionized Sri Lankan YouTube commercials. Their videos have been trending back to back, all credits to their one-of-a-kind creativity. Hi Imran, welcome back to Sri Lanka.
Hi Zabrana, nice to be back. We talked from Australia and now we're talking from Colombo.
Hi Dino, hi Gehan, welcome to the Globetrotter.
Hi. Thanks for having us. Thank you for having us.
How is the office game going?
It's going very good. Good. We have about more than 10,000 plays, and a lot of people are sending stories about the game. So we're really excited about how far we can take it.
So out of all the countries that you all have visited, I know that Dino traveled to Singapore last, Blok traveled to Thailand. Let's talk, and Maldives. Let's talk about your experience. So let's talk about Singapore and let's talk about Thailand. What was your first experience? Was it the same as your expectation? Like how was expectation versus reality?
So Singapore, there's a really interesting story. This is my second time going to Singapore because more often than not, most people go to Singapore for concerts, movie premieres and stuff like that because you can hop over, hop back. It's very easy. You don't have to plan well in advance. There's no visa process, so it's really easy to fly in and fly out. Last time I went to watch Catch a Ship Bruno Mars in Singapore. And there was this huge confusion about cigarettes. And someone, basically a friend of mine who I don't want to name, bought a carton and put it in my bag and was like, don't worry about it, Machan. I mean, this thing.
No.
We were just heading out and then suddenly, I don't know, but Singaporean customs guys have this crazy ability to pick up on things. And this guy randomly, he just stopped me, right? And I had nothing against regulation. So they found the carton and I was taken to the customs office, and the officer was I think half Sri Lankan because she sounded very Sri Lankan, and then obviously it's a different country and all that, so they kept us for a good 45 minutes, and they said they can fine you 6,000 Singaporean dollars for this kind of thing. You could get jail time, and they're properly scared. So I was like, look, I didn't know the regulation, and luckily for me, one of the signs had been turned the other way. And because I obviously didn't have $6,000 Singaporean dollars on me. And then afterwards, what she did was she wrote on this thing, and then we found out later that the whole thing is an act and they're just trying to inconvenience you. But two of my friends were outside waiting for us. One came in, and while waiting, there were these toffees for guests and stuff, and then he was opening toffees and crunching them. And the crunching sound annoyed another Singaporean customer. So picture is like, are you here for something? Why are you crunching all this stuff? Get out of here! And he chased the bugger, and he had to go.
I just think they want to check up his butt or something.
I don't know. You know what? I was scared. You never know what they want to do, right? So I was freaking out. And anyway, finally they said they're going to incinerate it, sign this release form, and they put a mark on my passport. So I'm technically a offender in Singapore.
No, you're really?
Yeah, they have a mark on my face. So they say every time you come with your passport, they're going to check you. So I'm going to be hassled every time I go to Singapore, but hopefully after COVID that will change.
How did they spot you in the first place?
I don't know. I think it's just the way we look or something. I think when you smile at people, it's a bad thing. Apparently, I don't know. I just smile at people because I feel they've been standing in the same place a long time. But I think it raises suspicion or whatever.
That is that guilty look that you give and try to serve. You try to help past.
Probably. Apart from that, Singapore is fantastic. I mean, the cities are super clean. Cab drivers are rude, but people in general are very helpful. And the concert and was impeccably organized. The delay was 1 minute. That's how the difference in between how long the schedule time and the start time. So they had pre-planned, security was in place. It's amazing how well organized things are there.
Okay, before we go to where you visited in Singapore, let's go to Gehan and ask about his first impressions of what was the expectation and the reality of Thailand.
Thailand was fun. We were there for about 2 weeks, I think, and then we did a full-on trip of we went to Bangkok, then we went to Phuket, and then finally we ended up in Phi Islands, which is amazing. And yeah, that's where I proposed to Shazia. So yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, so it was a full-on proposal trip, and but Shazia didn't know. I think she knew. I don't know. Now she says she kind of knew, but yeah. So yeah, it was a really fun trip. Yeah, my gosh! I mean, one of the best experiences there was basically on the day I was supposed to propose to Shazia. We went on one of these tours, on these island tours you get in Phi Islands. So we went to, I think, James Bond Island, and we went on a full on. We went to Maya Beach. I mean, you can't go to Maya Beach now because people have gone and ruined the place. But of course, you can stay a bit in front and look at where the beach was shot, and then move on. So it was a full-on tour, and the tour ended with this thing called glow-in-the-dark plankton. And I told Shazia saying this is all bullshit, because everywhere you went, everywhere, every tour operator had this nice picture.
Come
see, and there's this diver, and there's this glow in the dark, shiny stuff. So I was like, this is bullshit, all Photoshop crap. This must be some cop. So the final the location of the tour was it was in the dark at around 7 o'clock. I think it was pitch dark, and it was right in the middle of the ocean. And Thailand, these Phi Islands has these rocks which just come out of the water, so it's like crazy. So it was in between two of those massive rocks, and it was pitch dark. And I remember this guy saying, "Okay, now you switch off light. Okay, no light, because no light, no sea." So then we had to switch off all the lights. It was pitch dark, and we had to go snorkel under, and just he said, "Go under and wave your hands, and you'll see all the glow in the dark plankton." And I was a non-believer until that very moment. As soon as we went down and did that, I remember shouting in the water, because it was amazing. It was amazing. I could see glowing.
He was cursing all the way he got there apparently.
Yeah,
and because the water also.
Yeah, the thing was why I was cursing this whole thing was because it was taking time. Because at around 8 or 8:30, we had to go to this island off where we were staying, somewhere in Krabi. To basically, that's where the proposal was supposed to happen. So I was also shitting bricks, saying, "Oh God, we won't make it." Because anyway, in the afternoon, we went and spoke to a whole bunch of guys who have these boats to say, can we go to this particular island in the night? And all of them were like, "Oh no, you crazy, go in the night, no."
Because there are rocks and stuff, no?
Because there are rocks and there's a tidal wave or whatever. So there was this one guy with his small son who was like, "I'll do it. We'll go around the island. It's a bit of a longer route, but I can take you, but we have to be back by 11 o'clock in the night." So I was like, "Let's do it." Oh, sorry. Yeah, so finally saw the glow in the dark plankton, went to our resort on Phi Islands, and then finally took a boat in the dead of the night to the proposal spot or whatever. And yeah, it's great. It's good. It's an amazing experience.
I was just about to say, Zafrana, this is the first time I met a guy who went to Thailand to propose.
Yeah.
I did a piece on my stand-up performance as well about this whole Thailand trip. So I hope to put it up online soon.
Why don't you explain how you planned the whole thing? Because now it's like a trend. Now, not just here. Now people like to, go overseas, a surprise trip, and then people propose. How did you plan?
Basically, I organized just the proposal stuff. I bought the ring, and I booked the resort, the Zivola resort. I think that's what it was. So I spoke to them separately, but Shazia had planned this whole Thailand trip, and she had got a whole list of places she wanted to go and eat from, and but the first thing, as soon as we went there, I lost my wallet. Can you imagine? The first day we landed, I lost my wallet there. Right? And
Purposely or?
no, yeah, I lost it. I had all my credit cards on it and whatnot. So then my credit cards, and then we realized that one of my credit cards was with Shazia, so I didn't have to cancel a credit. Like I could have used that credit card, right? And yeah,
Lot of drama.
lot of drama.
Maya, can I interrupt
Yeah.
there? I must say that you have a very good friend in Dino, because the moment you said I lost my wallet and all that, he's grinning from year to year, Maya. I never seen him so happy.
No, it always happens to him. Always.
Gosh, it was horrible experience. But yeah, thank God I had paid for the other stuff, so it was okay. But for the other stuff, I had to ask Shazia's card and use it and pay her back. It's pretty horrible.
Can you tell us what went right? Like how beautiful the proposal was, how was the setup, how it all went down?
Yeah, I mean, when we went to the island and all, they had dug up these massive hearts and done some major scene there, and it was really beautiful. So yeah, I mean, the proposal and all was amazing, but the run up to the proposal was pretty horrible. Like because I lost my wallet, and then someone tried to snatch Shazia's bag as well at one of those floating markets. Yeah, if we lost that, finished, because that had all the passports and all the other methods of payment we had, like the Shazia's card and all the cash we had was with her. So if that also went, then finished. You would have had to stay there. You'd have to stay there. But yeah, so I think Thailand as a place is like amazing, but some of the people there they're a bit rude, I would say, and we had a lot of scams that happened. I've gone to Thailand before, also I went once with basically on a boys trip. So yeah, and it was not this bad.
So let's talk about the places you visited. And if at all, if you want to tell somebody like these are the places you must visit, what would be those be?
Singapore, I mean, Universal Studios for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, if you go to Singapore and don't go to Universal Studios, you're missing out.
Yeah. And the Transformers ride.
Yeah, he's a huge fan of the Transformers ride. I'm a bigger fan of the Cylon one, Battlestar Galactica one. Because if you're a coaster fan, that's the one that's most extreme. But Universal Studios for sure. You should definitely check out the old Singapore market. It's pretty cool. Nightlife is great, but depending on where you go, it's pretty costly. So it's important to pick your spots beforehand, and if you can make a reservation, it's really good. Eat out. I think it's the best advice you can give someone even in Singapore, because you can eat for really good rates, and because Singapore has a great Chinese culture, like dumplings and all on the street are amazing. So the food culture is really good. The hawker street kind of stuff is really good, and it's pretty clean as well. But yeah, definitely. I mean, the biggest attraction in Singapore is Universal Studios, I would say, for someone who's looking at having some fun. And you go in, you end up spending an entire day there. So set aside a day if you're going there. But yeah, it's I would say that those are probably the biggest attractions. The airport is fantastic. People are great. It's a beautiful city. I mean, we always compare this whole Singapore-Sri Lanka thing. No, they say Sri Lanka could have been Singapore if not for the war and all that stuff. But it's a long way to go. Let me just say that. I mean, we have our benefits here, our perks here. I mean, there's no place like home. But in terms of how well things are organized and how kind of systematic things are, that is, I think, it's the good and bad of Singapore also, because sometimes people are very robotic. But as their processors, the way things function and all, it's unbelievably efficient. Yeah. Even trains, the tube, navigating is very easy. You can travel alone with no fear of security issues and things like that. And also, I mean, you don't need people's help. You can find everything online and maps out configured with your train schedules, and there's so much that's good.
One of the best places, I mean, to dine is basically, there's this place called Tipsamai, right? Tipsamai, I think. Tipsamai, there's the best pad thai in the world. So they have a line which is like, so we stood in line. We stood in line for about an hour, I think. But once we got in there, it was one of the amazing food experience you would have. It's called Tipsamai. Amazing pad thai and amazing fresh orange juice. So there's no water in the orange juice. It's like proper
Pure
pulpy orange. So it's amazing. It's crazy line, crazy popular in Thailand, in Bangkok. So if that's one of the places we had an amazing food experience at. Yeah, the food in Thailand is just mad. It's just crazy. The street food is just nuts. So I really like Thailand's street food scene.
Yeah, because I think it's Thailand, if I'm not mistaken. Bangkok has a noodle bar. It's like this street noodle bar that has got a Michelin star. It's a $1 noodle.
Yeah.
There's this lady who runs a little like ape cut, like roadside booth, and it's got a Michelin star. It's a $1 noodle thing. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, I ate from one of those small Michelin star places. I can't remember what the name is, but it was really good. It was one of those noodle thing.
What's the most strangest dish that you all have tried when you're overseas?
I had stingray.
I have.
He's had in Thailand, but in Singapore I had stingray and it was fantastic.
Not Thailand. In Malaysia, when I went to Malaysia, there was this, Bukit Bintang, the food street.
Yeah.
So Bukit Bintang has like an amazing food scene on that street, and Bukit Bintang has this place where it had all sorts of exotic meat burgers, okay, like rabbit, ostrich, crocodile. And I remember seeing it, and I remember Shazia telling me, don't eat it, poor rabbits or whatever. I said, no, I want to try rabbit meat. I want to try what a rabbit meat burger tastes like. So basically, I bought a rabbit meat burger, and I tried it. And it was horrible. I almost puked. Yeah. So, yeah.
But the food scene is weirdest in China, we've heard. I mean, yeah, it's just nuts. I mean,
obviously. Look at where we are now.
Oh God! If it wasn't as weird, we'll all be
safe right now. We won't be having this interview like this. Thailand or whatever. Thailand, I remember we walked in some nightclub and there were these two Sri Lankans. We were like, oh shit, Sri Lankans. And we walked out. There were these two shady fellows waiting to watch a ping pong show, right? And they looked at us. They were like, Bola Lanka mein name. I was like, wow, Pit Lanka mein, bye. There's this code, Sri Lankan code, wherever we go.
Alrighty, Dino and Blok, thank you so much for joining with us today. Hope you guys enjoyed.
Thank you for having us.